Thank you very much. I'd like to call the Special Commission on Veterans Affairs to order for March, what's today, the 8th?
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll call?
Chair Pichardo,
Present.
Vice Chair Ianucci is absent. Commissioner Alves,
Present.
Commissioner Yarn.
Present.
We have 3 present and 1 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much and welcome everyone. Happy spring. Before you, we have the agenda for today. If there's an opportunity to review, which you probably have already, we'd like to take on the first item on the agenda, which is the discussion relative to House Bill 5307 and Senate Bill 030, veteran exemption in the city of Providence. As you can recall, through the input and dialogue that we've had over several months, our office worked with the administration, Brett Smiley's administration, and we put a bill forward that was presented in the House and also in the Senate. I had the opportunity to go up to the State House and testify in favor of it. The mayor also expressed during the same time support for this, both in the House and Senate. And I noticed also the Director of Veterans Affairs also penned a letter in support. So this is moving fast within the General Assembly. And it appears that Thursday, I believe the House and the Senate is going to, the bill is coming before them and hopefully they get to move it out. So that's one of our wins. And we hope that once it passes, both the House, the governor signs it and brings it back to us. And in the meantime, we're also looking at our policy team, which is represented here today by Tricia Padrelli. We're working on a resolution, sending also a resolution up to the State House, both for the House and Senate leadership, along also to the governor in support of this bill. So that way it has a full complement of support from the local municipal and also at the state level. Once that passed, we're also going to be looking at what that percentage is going to be in terms of the discount for veterans, also seniors, working with the administration at this time. And as you know, we're going through a very challenging time budget-wise, but I'm hopeful through our advocacy and through our efforts that it will be at least some increase from the $153 that our veterans are receiving. So, any further questions or comments, Director, if you would like to expand on it or not? We're good? Very good. The next item would be discussion relative to veterans ordinance. I think I covered that. We're going to be working on the ordinance, and that has to deal with also, again, with the amount of benefit that will be put forward the body of the city council to look at and have discussion. Once that ordinance gets drafted, hopefully, we'll also just share it with you and we'll have an opportunity to have it before the ordinance committee. And if you wish, you could also come that day that the ordinance will be heard before the ordinance committee. Also, would encourage the director, other agencies to pen a letter of support when that comes. Any questions, any discussion on that matter? All right. On the third item, discussion relative to the 2026 Veterans Day Parade and other events. Open up the floor here. As you know, we've been discussing how can we get this parade, or at least the organization forward. I know Commissioner Alves had to express some information and so forth. So I'll open it up to you.
Thank you.
Commissioner.
I had a phone call with Alexis from ACT.
Mhm.
And, just to ask some questions, on what to look for and how to go about certain things. So one of the items that he said was, I mean, obviously we're gonna start by picking a date, if we're gonna actually do it on Veterans Day. Because depending on if that, so Veterans Day 2026, we're at our 150 years, 250 years
Next year. Well,
next year.
Next year, yeah.
So I know that there's gonna be a slew of events happening everywhere, so we just, making sure we stick with the date and time, and we need to pick a location, from point A to point B.
Mhm.
So everything starts, city services. We have to fill out an application. With the application, you have to have the parade route, provide some sort of, plan for security, a plan for police and fire, and funding. So, he stated that like with some of these parades and events, a lot of times it gets too costly, to have the police department pull all the security locations and whatnot. So on the other end, you can go with private security. But there's a lot of factors, how many roads would have to be closed down and everything else that goes into it. So we need some sort of a funding source. And then also if there's going to be any sort of maybe match it up with the water fire. So if the water fire starts, when it gets dark out, let's hypothetically say 7, we could back plan and potentially start the parade to kind of coincide with water fire. So maybe the potential end of the parade is say 2 hours before water fire. That way, people that come for the parade are gonna stay in Providence, go get some food and then hit the water fires.
Yeah.
So maybe trying to coordinate the two,
Mhm.
keep everybody in Providence. That's what I got for that.
Yeah, that would be discussion with Providence Water Fire and also with your director.
I MC the
If you
event.
can,
So the first
Elaborate.
Saturday in November is dedicated for the water fire. That's the last official water fire event for the season. The event starts at 4:30. Speaker program that goes into the evening. There's a lot of prep work going into that day. So if you were to do it, it'll be a Saturday morning. And roughly the parades tend to happen, push step off at 10 o'clock and roughly runs about 2 hours. Megabytes or 2 as well. So then you have plenty of runway either way to figure it out too. Knowing that the water fire is etched in stone to be the first Saturday of November. The event starts at 4:30 and there's a series of prep work leading into that to kick off that event that are happening that morning. Prep work, but it's mutually exclusive of the parade itself. So it's supportable for that day.
Yeah.
And I just want to be mindful if you were to do it on Veterans Day proper, the 11th, now you compete with everyone else that are doing a parade on that time frame.
Right.
So a lot of the municipalities, they pick a day either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, depending on how the municipality, they pick Veterans Day off.
yeah.
The first Saturday is the 7th.
Okay.
And that's Saturday.
Yep.
And then actual Veterans Day is Wednesday, the
Correct.
11th.
Correct. So the water fire will be that first Saturday. We try to do the second Saturday, but it's timing because then the clocks go back, and then now you've got tires and currents. You have to deal with it. It becomes a safety issue. So you can't. We try to do it. So only way it'd be possible if we did it on the 11th, but even still, compete a requirement. So the best date that we found based on lessons learned would be the first Saturday in November to do the Veterans water fire.
Yeah.
And it starts at 4:30.
And do you keep, dates of different, parades, throughout the
Absolutely,
state,
correct.
to see how
Where
we
they are,
can,
yeah.
where they're at and
And I
how,
do that because I can only be one
Right,
parade at a
right.
time. And so. I
and we
gotta
want
pick
to
and
make
choose.
sure that, yeah,
That,
that we're there.
correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct. And so that Saturday tends to be a good time, knowing that it's the 7th, so it is close to, but close to the 11th, so.
4 days.
Right.
Would your recommendation be
It'd be
to
that
do
Saturday,
it that
that
Saturday?
Saturday morning.
Okay. So one of the things I also looked at, to see where, right? As in how do we keep it centralized? How do we tie into this? With having that as an option, or off, was to, and I looked at a couple that I've been to over the years, whether it's North Providence, even Cranston and East Providence. Usually the parades are a mile and a half, right? Not that long. So with that under consideration, just putting it on the floor in a sense of starting, I think it's important to,
What's the prior parade route?
Pride Parade, comes out here by the library.
Okay.
Goes around, loops around, what's that, Washington Street? Washington, PBE, Performing Arts Center.
Yeah,
And ends on that end. So what I was, I looked at that too. It was for us to start off at the Van Leesten Memorial Park. Well, down this way and end up around here, or if we wanted to incorporate veterans,
I was gonna say, is there an
City Hall.
identifying veterans location in
well,
Providence?
there's the Burnside Park here, but also the arena where we could have also doing as it ends, that eventually, it doesn't have to be for the first one, to have other organizations bring in information about veterans and so forth. So the parade ends, but we can have other available to us, the arena here, the skating board arena.
we try to do too much of that one there, Mr. Chair, if I may. I would recommend we just stick to the parade.
Yes,
Because
sir.
when we try to do all this other stuff, now you're talking about people's time and effort in terms of doing a resource as mindful. On that date, they're all preparing for water fire.
Right.
So you would take away, they won't be able to potentially do both in
Mm.
that regard, because you gotta be mindful of folks' time, because they're volunteering to do it on the weekend.
Right. The reason I mention is that not to do with the first, but it's more in the long term, if they do choose to have something to that arena. I know, like you said, they're getting ready for the water fire. Perhaps in the future, they may have opportunities to incorporate something like that. Not to
Right.
do it for the first year, but more of a vision in the sense that could
Historically,
could
correct.
tie the
Historically,
veteran.
that's the same weekend as Comic-Con or something along those lines too.
Yeah.
So that's a major draw in the city as
Yeah.
well, and that's another competing requirement that you're gonna have to deal with too, for that date.
Yeah.
We also gotta figure out who's going to be joining in the parade.
In the parade, yeah. So that's sort of like the route, and the route coming from over there, ending it up here. Again, with the vision, in a sense, leaving it open for other people in the future if there is that opportunity. But I looked at how that ties into veteran, in a sense. The Burnside Park has a great history there and so forth, versus coming down from the State House. But I think it's important to a parade like this to come in front of City Hall. Yeah, so that's one of the options that I wanted to put forward. All right. Thank
Someday,
you for your,
we need to relive the picture I saw of City Hall with the grandstand in front of City
Right.
Hall,
yeah,
all dressed up in red, white, and blue. Looked amazing. I have no idea how long ago that picture was taken.
right.
Probably with a camera with the thing that goes over because it's so old.
Yeah.
But it was a really nice picture.
Yeah, they created like a grandstand.
Yeah.
Right, and they layered it up, so.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, that's our vision, the first one, if we, The idea is that we can really have the parade and with proper planning, we could get it done in 2026. In fact, that's one of the continuous conversation with the mayor's staff for us to see how we can make that happen with the least cost and more participants over the years. And all right,
What was your thoughts on a starting point?
at the I call it the Van Leesten Memorial Park or Bridge area. I know it has another name now.
Oh, right where the colleges built the new
Where the PV,
pedestrian
the
bridge?
pedestrian bridge, yeah,
oh, yeah, that's right where they built that, redid that building.
right across the street from CIC.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're building a new facility there too. So I think it'll be ideal because there's an open space there, it's a staging area. And then we're not obstructing and coming from that area to here will be close to mile 2, so it's not too long. And so that will be
I'm gonna
great.
drive it.
Yeah. You gotta walk it, don't drive,
Well,
so you can see.
unless I'm gonna be there
Not
for
today,
real.
not today.
Not today.
Next week.
I wanna
Yeah.
measure,
Time next week.
I wanna measure it out.
Yeah, right. Any other discussion on that? So,
Well, we gotta also have that, start thinking about, who would be part of the parade.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of groups,
Bristol. Change the name, change the day.
Hmm.
Same list you do for the pride, same list.
so I think it's also organizational wise, is to look at how, like you said, whether PVD and other external organizations that
Right.
can jump on board, for example.
Right.
The St. Patrick's Parade, great team out there. I know we saw a couple of people that actually know how to run these things.
Right.
And it's
right.
like, hey, we need volunteers, we need help, that kind of stuff, and it's developing that operation program. You know, and just plugging in these responsibilities along with public safety, along with the city, along with the state and the veteran services and so forth. Reaching out to the colleges, Rick, URI, Brown University, they have a.
We won't have
program.
we won't have a shortage of folks to participate in the parade,
Right.
trust me when I tell you.
Yeah, and when we're ready, we'll build some marketing around it, and like you said, people will come out of the woodwork to support the first one. That would be great for us to
That'd be awesome.
really provide. That would be great to us, officer, like you said. So if we can work on that, that will be great to identify those resources and also the list of people that we can reach out so they could help us out volunteering and with those operation functions.
I'll ask more questions
Yeah,
with, ACT.
yeah. Fantastic. And we will, we don't have to make that decision now in terms of deciding if we're gonna do it that day. The best recommendation has been made through the director and so forth, but we'd love for us to have it, consider it now, and then we'll on our next meeting, put it on the agenda to make that decision firmly. Because I would like to also speak to the administration, the mayor, to ensure that also they're on board. Sounds good?
We also need to maybe back plan, in case we need to do any requests with the, National Guard, paperwork wise.
I just need to see what the cost associated with that. I'll take care of that. That's easy.
Well, because I know the expectation is the paperwork needs to be done by a certain time.
Oh, yeah, I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. We've had plenty of time between now and plan on it. That's 2536, DD
Yeah.
2536. I'll take care of it. I do that all the time, so that's easy.
You just mentioned something important about the cost.
Correct.
Any ideas in your mind in the sense ballpark?
I recommended to this governing body before, I recommended we pull what the other parades have done in this city,
Mhm.
look at the cost allocation shows for that, and then come up with something there. At least we know what the ballpark figures associated with this. We've done successful parades in this city in the past, let's just use that as a benchmark to identify the costs associated with doing something of this nature as well.
Mhm.
Especially as being the first inaugural one, I think it'll garner some more support in this space, especially coming out of knowing that continue with the momentum of these bills getting passed to continue that momentum by
Right.
doing this in 2026.
Yeah, I looked at the numbers in terms of PVD Fest. I think we cannot compare the PVD.
What are
because,
those numbers?
300, we just actually approved through the city council, 300,000 for, for this year, I believe, and the next year too. And that's not near, because PVD is very intense in
Correct,
terms of
right.
supporting other artists and so
Right.
forth. So I was just looking at, in a sense, how we can arrive. So hopefully by the next meeting.
And
I
in terms
believe
of
we
the
have some
Pride
numbers.
Parade, what was the cost associated with the Pride Parade?
That I didn't look into.
I would recommend we look
That-
at
that
that
one,
one,
yes,
more,
because-
more because it's more parade centric,
Right.
whereas PVD is more of a festival, a series, a weekend
Supporting
versus.
artists, yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully get some of that information by next meeting.
Yeah, I think we
Sounds good.
can find those numbers easily and.
Yeah, so if we could have that for next meeting, that'd be great. Moving on, any other further discussion on that? Okay. Next item will be discussion relative to the future topics and objectives of the commission. Here, I mean, we continue to work on our parade. We're looking at continue to changing the ordinance, but we also discussed the next couple of months, which is Flag Day. That we had determined that Friday, June 13th, 2025 is the preliminary date for the Flag Day. Want to keep that on our radar, and I wanted to see if there was any thoughts on that.
So short of what we talked about within the last recent time of this, I mean, not that it's a lot to put together, we can put it together. It's just time wise, finding someone to play the bugle, color guards. I mean, running the chain of events isn't really difficult. But what groups are gonna attend, because we would have to invite them soon to get it on the schedule. I think we're a little too far off to have the National Guard participate with the bugle or with the chaplain, time wise.
Commissioner, any thoughts on it?
My guys always have full, so I can, everybody that you mentioned, I have contact with all those folks. So if you're telling me that the city of Providence wants to host an event, pick the date, time, City Hall here, and we go from there. Somebody has to MC it, run a show
I think
wise.
that's clear. Commissioner House, what do you think?
As far as the location.
Yeah.
City Hall,
Well,
steps outside.
I looked at that last year, so we have to take into account that if we're gonna have an open flame, obviously the fire department has
We
to
don't
be
need a
here.
open flame period. Let's do a ceremony with the flag right outside City Hall, do it from there.
Well, last year I did the whole retirement ceremony.
That's the,
We can try it as an option.
I just want, for the way, I just want to be, so we have ceased also, the state of Rhode Island, we have ceased also, we are the official custodian of all flag retirements here in the state. We have ceased all flag burns, open flame burns because of the toxic inhalation risk that it imposes.
That was gonna be my next thing, which way the wind's blowing. Because last year, luckily, the wind was in our favor.
So I recommend that anything dealing with some type of flag retirement ceremony, because it involves open flames, that we take that off the list. For blatant health reasons.
Okay.
Because you breathe it in,
Yeah.
those are all synthetic nylon now. Those all flags not cotton, but they're all made of synthetics. And breathing that in is very toxic. So it's open flame that you're breathing it in, you're susceptible to be injected to a inhalation hazard. So as a result of that, we've ceased all flag retirements. Matter of fact, I have Connex boxes at my cemetery right now.
Yeah.
That are storing flags because we don't have the proper procedures in order to
So
retire those.
the other option is I mean, if we have a location that's like a veteran location, like the hypothetical Trinity Square. If we did a ceremony, where there is a field and, grass and whatnot. The other way to retire a flag is burying it, digging a hole, placing it in the hole and burying the flags.
We're gonna do that at.
Well, that's why I was saying, I mean, is there a location like
No, there isn't any. We've
So-
looked at every block and store, there is no facility that buried that we authorized bury flags. That word don't exist.
So adhering to some of state regulations, as you indicated, and being the director, you're recommending that the event should not be held because
We could do
just
an event, but not do the
Modified.
actual, right,
yeah,
modified?
right.
Because
we could bring in,
we can do flag inspections.
Yeah.
And we can fold the flag and state the fact that we're going to take the flag and perform a retirement ceremony through proper guideline, whatever, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
But I mean, we can, unfurl the flag, do a flag inspection, have somebody state after inspecting the flag, grant permission to retire the flag, fold the flag, and then take the flag.
I mean, folding goes a long way, the proper, how to fold it.
Mm.
That in itself is a nice little ceremony.
Yes. Which we had, the Boy Scouts do that.
Right.
So it was, I had, the way I set it up was I had, 4 flags. And the Boy Scouts unfurled the flags, and held it at the waist. I had the mayor come up, do a flag inspection. One of the Boy Scouts said, requesting permission to retire the flag. The mayor said permission granted, folded up the flag, brought the next one out. We ended up doing the chief of police and the chief of fire and deputy director of PEMA. Just to kind of get the city involved.
mhm. All right, so
A lot of
let's
coordinating.
so let's just be clear in a sense that we're not gonna have anything
No flames.
no flames due to the fact of adhering to the state and the director's recommendation and state policy and regulations. So we'll look at a location of where we could hold that and what you just described.
Yeah, I mean, if it's,
Yeah.
if we're gonna modify it that
Mhm.
way,
Yeah.
right in front of City Hall.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I agree,
yeah,
100% agree.
agreed. Okay, good. So let's iron that out for next meeting also. So that way we're make some critical and important decisions for next meeting. For the parade and also for the burning.
So Flag Day is June 14th,
We said that preliminary was June 13th.
13th,
That
that's the Friday.
Because that Friday, that Saturday will be the 14th. So we
Yeah.
said we did that Friday.
There's also some recommendation about doing a high school essay contest. That
In
that was
preparation for that,
mentioned.
it'd be read at
Preparation, yeah.
be read during the ceremony.
During the ceremony. All right,
So it needs to kind of go out right now. We're gonna do for June, couple months, 2 months from now.
Mm.
yeah,
The schools need to be engaged right now if we do something like that.
our next meeting is when is that? Do we have it on the list there? I know we already scheduled our meetings every on a Tuesday. But
Second
was it the
Tuesday.
second
yeah,
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
When is that?
It should be
May
May
13th.
13th.
Yeah,
It'll be a month away.
yeah,
So a lot needs to happen.
with the schools and then graduation and all that stuff, yes.
Run a show.
So.
Well, the run a show, I mean,
Is it June? Yeah.
I can.
We can-
I
we can work.
I have I did a write-up for Run Up Show for last year. So we can take that and modify it from what it was. Because I had like set where, opening speeches and all this stuff and when we were gonna, when we have the color guard, we do I mean, we did the Pledge of Allegiance, we did everything.
Right.
And
Color Guard can come from Providence Police.
yeah.
So
So
fire.
I got somewhat of a run-up show that we can modify.
Yeah.
Fire department had a flag. That's
It was
symbolic.
a mix of police and fire.
I'm just talking about the 2 fire trucks with the
Oh,
flag. That's always well received also.
Yeah.
Right.
For water fire.
Right.
Yeah,
All right, so we have a game plan
that'd be
to
interesting.
do that, and we'll coordinate it through also some follow-up with our office. Make that happen and find other resources to help us with these events. All right. Any particular time yet? Do we need to select the time? I think we should.
10 is always good. A lot of kids, time to get to school and all those type of things all worked out.
Morning.
Something in the
afternoon?
morning. 10 to 11, in and out, but easy.
Oh, it's a Friday, kids will be in
Right.
school.
But they'll tell you, you still got a lot for them to, if you want the kids to participate. Like
Well,
for
that's
the
why
essay
we do it in the-
contest,
I wasn't sure if we were gonna have, like, so for instance, Boy Scouts, Scouting America was gonna come.
Yeah.
Uh,
ROTC from
be something,
Central.
after
so what
the
time,
time.
what time you do it last year? What time you do it last year?
I think it
afternoon.
was 5 o'clock.
Maybe we could do something.
So the whole
closer
day
to
is gone, the whole day is over, now you do a flag, it's kind of.
Well, I was,
What are we trying to, what's our goal here?
no, I understand that. The reason I did 5 was because it was a one-man show doing all the organizing and
Amen.
I had to follow rules.
That's it.
So, but I mean, we could do it earlier, and then, whoever, that's gonna actually participate, we can look at seeing if they can be excused, from school that day.
I think we can do in the afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock. That gives the opportunity for the students
Recess.
get out, half a day. For those who are gonna participate, this,
Right.
recess from, out
Right.
the rest of their day. So how about if we pull it out 2 o'clock?
Mm.
2 o'clock?
There could
13th
be,
Friday?
there could very be schools already participating in some event in the city already, in lieu of Flag Day.
Mm.
That's a distinct possibility. There's some schools are already doing that type of stuff, already in the community. It's just a matter of just,
Ours is not as much, is not as popular in Providence, but we're gonna make it popular. So, can we agree at 2 o'clock? 2 p.m. Friday, 13th June. Excellent. Great. Any other discussion on that? No. Just as we're concluding now, I know that Memorial Day is coming and you're also busy during those times. I've, from discussions here and also a goal of mine and also the commission I've expressed is for us to identify memorial monuments or squares in the city of Providence within wards. So that way they can be highlighted, also beautified. So we've identified a couple of them. And so one of those that it's on the agenda for us to try to get something done around that Memorial Weekend is the corner of Broad Street and Prairie Avenue, which is the ward of Councilman Pedro Espinal. Right next to it is mine, but it's the corner of Broad and Prairie. There's a memorial there that historically been recognized, but over the years it just needs a refresher. So I've spoken to Councilman Espinal, so we're going to be looking at the parks and doing also Earth Day cleanings in the neighborhood. I'm gonna put some flowers and everything else, so getting ready for that time. So closer to Memorial, so we could have a service there to a certain degree and bringing in perhaps flags of in that area. So just wanted to put that on the radar of the director, but also for all of us. All right. Any further business? Any other questions, comments?
motion adjourned.
Seeing none, there's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second, thanks.
There is a second. We're all in agreement. Meeting adjourned. Motion passes.